Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Agent Wealth Success. And you know what we do here? We help real estate agents and brokers to increase both their business and their wealth. And today I really have, technology is really the name of the game for you to be able to expand your business, expand your wealth, to have more time. And we have one of the masters today with us in technology. And his name is Brian Charlesworth, and he owns a company, and this is a major, substantial company. In fact, we're going to have a 7-day free trial for you on it, just so you can see how good this is and how technology is with Sisu. And it's sisu.co to be able to go there and get your 7-day free trial. But what I love most about Brian is he has this passion to significantly impact lives, your lives, our lives, by driving technology. And so with that, Brian, I welcome you to the show, and thanks so much for being here. And tell me, how did you get involved with, technology? I have grandchildren, and they're being born with little cell phones and stuff in their hands. And tell me, how did you get started with all this, and what makes you regarded as one of the top people in real estate for technology?
Well, it goes way back to when I graduated from college. When I graduated from college, I went to work for Sprint, selling frame reel, or not Sprint. I worked for Sprint while I was in college. I left Sprint to go to MCI. MCI at the time was the second largest. So many of your listeners are probably too young to even know who MCI is. But MCI was the second largest telecommunications company in the United States at the time, and second to AT&T. And that's when email really became popular, taking us way back. That's also when the internet really rolled out, and people didn't know what the internet was going to be used for, right? And it was just this backbone. And so MCI was really the backbone of the internet at the time. So I left MCI when I was 26 years old. And I started a small telecommunications company that it actually resold a Nextel wireless and and then we had a multifamily program where we sold long distance services into those. I only had that company for about 18 months and we sold it. And when I sold that, I really wanted to do something that had to do with the internet. So I rolled out a company called talk2.com, and talk2.com was really about voice enabling the internet. So at the same time that Steve Jobs was focused on letting you search the internet this way, we were both focused on the same thing. He was just smarter, knowing that that was the easier adoption. But the stuff that you're doing with now, like Alexa, or Google or Apple, the iHome, those types of things where you're, hey Siri, Alexa, do this. We were doing all that stuff back in the year 2000.
Wow.
So I was driving in taxi cabs in New York. That dates us as well, right? Taxi cabs. So, but I remember having, it was Kathy Ireland was one of our voices, and I actually had Kathy open up my emails and read my emails to me, and I could respond with WAV files. I could get directions. I could do all of the things that I'm doing today, but it was just, we went to market through all of the wireless carriers. And so we were in every wireless carrier's network.
Wow.
And, and devices have just come so far. Everything's come so far. But that's really, I've just loved technology from the beginning.
Yeah.
And so moving forward, 5 years ago, a company that I was a part of sold. And when that company sold, my wife asked me, so what are you going to do next? And, being an entrepreneur, I didn't really know. I didn't really care. I was like, I'll figure it out. But she said, well, why don't you come help me build my real estate business? while you're figuring that out. So,
Awesome.
so I jumped in, and I didn't ever see myself actually selling real estate,
No.
but jumped in and got a couple of coaches, and focused on listings and building a listing team for her, and found myself not only reporting out to my coaches, but also having her team report in to us. And we started doing that with spreadsheets, and then moved over to smart sheets so that we could send out a notification every day. And then we ended up building an app so that we could just make it that much easier for our agents to do it real time, no matter where they were. And then we saw such a big increase in our agents' production who were tracking daily.
Yeah.
That's kind of how CISU was born. So it was started more of a coaching and accountability software, and now it does so much more than that.
That's great. That's great. So let's get into the nitty gritty, and let's start out first with the agent and exactly what it does. Like if I go get this 7-day trial, how's this going to help me? What's this going to do? And then also expanding, because all of us, and so I'm talking to every one of you out there, that there is an opportunity for you to start building a team. And you just didn't realize it. You just think it's going to be a lot of work or whatever. And the fact is that you're going to be able to do, I have a agent right now doing 30 listings a month, and she has plenty of time. And the reason why she does that is because she does it with a team. And so you don't need to be real bright. What you need is you need the software that you have, Brian, in order to make this happen. So can we start with just the agent on what can CISU do for us and as an agent, and how can it help me?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really simple thing, right? The agent, what can an agent do? If you look at all of the top agents out there in the country, they all have coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think they have a coach?
All right.
They have a coach because they want somebody to hold them accountable. That's typically what coaches are doing. Someone that's helping them understand, okay, you want to make, every agent coming into the business wants to make $100,000. It's all about 6 figures. And then they make 100,000, and then they want to make 300,000, right?
Right.
And then they want to make they get 500 and then $1 million. But
right.
The reason it's so important to have a coach is really for the accountability. You also want to make sure that coach is someone who has the lifestyle, manages the business the way you would want to manage the business, has the free time or not free time, right? Works the way you work. Yeah. But a big part of that is actually setting goals. So the simple part of CISU, first thing you do when you come in is you're going to set your goals. And then every month you're going to be able to see, as you can see on the screen behind me, you're going to be able to see, compared to your goals, how are you doing?
Okay.
And it's all color coordinated so that you know exactly, this is where I should be, this is where I'm at. And not only when I say goals, we're backing that into, okay, if I want to make $100,000, and that means how many closings do I need to do? What's my average price point in order to do that many closings? How many people do I need to put under contract in order to put that many under contract? How many do I need to sign, right? Yeah. In order to sign that many every month, how many appointments do I need to go on? And to get those appointments, how many do I need to set, and how many conversations do I need to have to do that? So all the way through, when I say goals, I'm not just talking about goals of what I want to make with the big vision. I'm talking about every single activity that needs to happen in order for you to achieve that goal, because you can control 100% whether you're going to hit that goal or not. Yeah. My first year in the business, I sold 48 homes. I made over $300,000 because I needed to, right? Yeah. And so it was just tracking that made that so valuable. So anyway, that's really the main value for the agent is.
Okay.
I
And so do
mean,
you help them, like, so if I sign up, that you have all these, what I would call high payoff activities under my definition, these key things that we need to do, whether, it be the leads or the number of contracts, et cetera, is that kind of all done for you? And like, can I plug in, for example, can I just say, hey, I want to make 300,000, 48 homes. And then does the system then tell me typically what needs to be done, or how does that play out?
so we do have a goal calculator that we, based on your average price point and based on what you would guess your conversion ratios are. Most agents, unless they've used Sisu, have no idea what their conversion ratios are.
Yeah, right.
They might know if I go on 10 listing appointments, I convert 2, or I convert 8. But that's about the only conversion ratio they really know.
Yeah.
So imagine being able to say, I know that for every 75 conversations I have, I close a transaction and I make, on average, $12,000.
Yeah.
Do you think you'd be more motivated to get to that 75th phone call?
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
So that's really at the agent level, and we honestly don't really focus on agents. We do have some agents, but our platform is more built for teams, and even brokerages. And teams and brokerages use it differently because brokerages definitely want to visualize their data and make decisions from their data. But teams want to use this to manage their entire business. This is how their agents report out. Right. Yeah. This is how they hold them accountable. This is how they know exactly what's going on. This is how they make better business decisions about leads. And we can get into that in a little bit. But
okay.
So at the team level, if I'm a team owner, and how I got to be a team owner is I was probably a really good agent.
Yeah.
In some cases, you have these successful business people come in and they spend millions of dollars on leads and they build huge teams, but that's not common in real estate. The more common is, you know what? I've figured out how to sell 50 homes on my own. I'm going to teach others how to do that, and I'm going to leverage that, and I'm going to make more money because I'm helping others and teaching others. And so one of the things I love about real estate, I've seen this probably more here. I'm seeing it more and more in the tech industry as well today. But, everybody in real estate is super willing to help anybody else.
Yeah, they are.
And just share with them all of their best practices.
Right.
I could choose a different mastermind every week of the year to go to, where you have these, huge producers who run their team like a business.
Right.
And that's really what Sisu is about, is most team owners haven't run a business before.
Yeah.
Right. And even if they have run a successful business, to have to do that using spreadsheets, what a nightmare. I used to spend, 4 hours on Sunday nights catching spreadsheets up so that I could move my daily numbers to weekly numbers to monthly and yearly numbers, and try to get all the data in there from agents. But it's got to be, and manually pull stuff in from your CRM, whereas Sisu is all about automating all of that. So you don't have to spend time pulling stuff in from your CRM. We just pull it in, and we show you visually what's going on.
Yep, and just based on my business experience, and that's been with Procter and Gamble, and I was a consultant of Fortune 100 companies around the world, and it's really about how to manage the business is through the numbers. And if you don't know what your numbers are doing, you really can't manage your business. So basically, what you've done is you've told us, hey, you have a way with Sisu in order to help us manage our business, which will save us time, just like you say, trying to do it yourself and the spreadsheets and everything. But the other unique thing, and we talked earlier before the show started, is You really help us, like, for example, what are the effective lead programs? And like most people will say, oh, come on, I know what effective lead programs are, or, whatever. But can you tell us a little on, like, how does that play out on effective lead programs? How do we measure that? And why is that different than just from me thinking I understand on, the lead program?
Yeah, let me address both of those. First,
Okay.
you mentioned numbers,
Yeah.
like knowing your numbers. So I just want to simplify that for our listeners, because anything you do in life, you're going to do better if you know your numbers. There's all kinds of studies in the sales industry, that just by putting leaderboards up in your business,
Mm-hmm.
you will get a 30% increase in activities from your salespeople.
Yeah.
Okay. Just by putting leaderboards up. So it's such a simple thing, but it's hard.
And what is what do you put on a leaderboard? Tell us.
So, I mean, our leaderboards, you can choose anything that's measured in our platform. So of course you're going to have the things we talked about, from conversations to appointments and to signed agreements and under contract closed. But in addition to that, what other things do you measure, right? Maybe you want to measure open houses. Maybe you want to measure number of one-on-ones attended, or script and role plays, or anything. It's custom activities. Some of our people care more about making sure that their people meditate and exercise every day, because they know that puts them in a healthier state.
That's awesome.
Then they might care about, some other things that like, how many offers did you write, right?
Yeah, right.
So all of the activities, everything is 100% customizable, but anything tracked in the platform, you can put leaderboards up. You can choose which leaderboard. So that's a pending units leaderboard behind me up there right now. And you're seeing a pie chart of who's getting what percentage of the business. And, just
is that people, though? That's people. You're measuring a team there, and
measuring a team there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So exactly.
So I'm seeing conversations. So who's had the most conversations this month?
Wow.
Right?
Wow. Who's the bigger, the yellow or the golden? Is that one person?
Yeah, that's just representing one person.
Okay.
So one person has done that percentage of the business, right?
I want that person.
But you can see them at the top of the leaderboard. They've done 1,400 conversations, where other people have done 200. Now, this is actually this is just my team here.
Yeah, right.
So, you have one of my sales guy who's put in that he did 1,400 conversations. Little does he know that doesn't happen in real estate. If you're doing 400 conversations a month, and you are able to convert at a high level, you should be selling at least 6 homes a month, right? I mean, I know those stats because I see them all the time.
So it's 400 conversations typically give 6 sales a month?
If you know how to convert, right? Do you know your scripts? What's your conversion ratio from appointments met to signed agreements, right? That's a really big one. And if you or from conversations to appointments set, that's another big one, right? So it's all about knowing your scripts, but if you don't know your conversion ratios, you don't know where you need to work, right?
Right.
Where do you need to go to improve? So backing that up a little further, though, I mean, anything you do in life, my wife right now is, she measures all of her food. So she knows exactly what's going in her body.
Yeah.
And she's getting huge results from doing that, right? I mean, she's already in great shape, but she's like, she wants to lean up, or, just become even more toned.
Yeah.
And you can do that by measuring.
Yeah.
You go to an NBA game today. What would it be like if there was not a scoreboard?
Right.
Right. Would you even be interested?
Yeah. Do you have a, I don't know, a one-liner on that about how important numbers are? I don't know. I'm trying to think of something on. Do you have anything like that?
I just say, know your numbers.
Yeah.
Because
right.
if you don't know your numbers, you can't grow your business.
Yeah.
If you don't know your numbers, you can't make good business decisions.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know your numbers, I mean, here's something else. A lot of people, and especially, I mean, as time goes on, now we have so many things at our fingertips where we can know these things daily and make daily decisions.
Yeah.
But just 10 or 15 years ago, I mean, people would look at their business once a year, or maybe once a quarter, or once a month.
Yeah.
But even if you're looking at your business and making decisions once a month, that means you're making 12 major decisions a year on your business.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're doing that daily, now you're making over 300 important critical decisions on your business. How much farther ahead do you think you're going to be at the end of the year by making daily decisions instead of monthly decisions?
Yeah, right. Powerful. Making daily decisions too. And I'm writing all this down. I hope all of you are out there writing all this down, because this is really from the master of, we said technology, but really as we get into it, it's how to use technology to look at the numbers and understand what kind of activity is doing it, because you can get, I'm never one on just doing things, because if you do, you end up getting do in your life. And so you don't want to do that, but you want to have inspired action. And this can inspire you, right? That as we look at that, Brian, that these numbers, that if I realize that, wow, if I am doing this activity, these, for example, like you say, conversations, that those activities can bring me the real stuff, and I can be seeing that on a daily basis.
Yeah, and I mean, as a team owner, we're talking, I mean, the examples we've used are more around agents, but let's share a couple team owner examples now.
Okay.
First of all, if I'm a team owner, my goals are not the sum of my agent's goals, okay? If they are, you will never hit your goals. I can tell you that right now. If you add up all the sum of your agent's goals and make that your goals, you will never hit your goals. Rather, as a team owner, if you want to sell 100 homes, or if you want to sell 500 homes, you're going to set that goal. You're then going to make adjustments based on the production of your agents as to things like, okay, what do I need to do here? Do I need to generate more leads? Or do I need to hire more agents? Because just, holding your agents accountable is valuable, and you become their coach. And every meeting you have with them, if you have Sisu, it's about numbers. It's not about emotions. Yeah. And so now you're really increasing the productivity, and you have leaderboards. So you're increasing, their productivity, as we spoke about, by 30%. But now let's go into some other things, like, let's just say lead gen. You asked about this a minute ago, Dr. Hank. So if I'm paying for 5 different lead sources, do I know what's actually happening there? Or do I just know I'm closing a few transactions from that lead source? Yeah. Do I know if I'm making money? Do I know what my cost per lead is? Do I know what my cost per closing is? Yeah. Do I know if one agent converts way more? And I mean, I've seen it where, as a team, I may have a cost per closing of $1,000. Yeah. But one agent might be at $3,000 because they're closing so few of that lead source, and one agent may be at $250. How should I make decisions on where I route that lead? Yeah.
Brian, you bring up a great point here, because I actually have 3 lead programs that are very good and considered in their own way the best in America. But like, one is through the social media, another one is just through your sphere of influences and referrals, and then another one are just a bunch of leads that are thrown at you. And like, I have an agent that does over $1 million on a bunch of leads that are thrown to them. And most agents tell me that lead source, they don't like at all. But it's because
it's the worst, agent, right?
Right.
That lead source doesn't work.
But that
not for
agent,
you, because you just told yourself that.
Right, exactly there. And then also that agent that's good at that one, she's just really good at, she likes kind of taking these, let's say, high-hanging fruit, not low-hanging fruit, but she does a little research first. And when she talks to them, the people just love her and say, oh my God, I want to do business. I am going to buy a house or whatever, and they get moving on it. So it really does depend on the agent, on what their skill set is and whatever they're comfortable with, whatever on that. And here you have it to where you can measure it to really understand how that is.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody who runs a team knows that different agents are great at different types of lead sources.
Sure.
That goes without saying.
Yeah.
But does that mean we're making decisions around it? Do we actually know the numbers? Do we actually give people what they're best at, right? And so there's just so much you can do there. Let's take another example. What about your vendors? So I was with a team of ours that does, over 400 homes a year.
Mm-hmm.
And we were looking at their Sisu dashboards about a month ago. And we were just looking at their mortgage companies from 2019.
Oh.
Okay. So they have 2 preferred lenders. And with 400 transactions, they had those preferred lenders received, I think it was 28 and 35 leads respectively that they had given them.
Yeah.
So let's just say it's 400 transactions, let's just say 200 of those are buy side.
Yeah.
So there were 200 buy sides going out.
Mm-hmm.
There was another lender that they didn't even have an agreement with that got 100 and something, just over 100 transactions.
Oh.
And so the question is, even that, is that something you should look at once a year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they, granted, they're a Sisu customer.
Yeah.
They could have looked at that any day, but just weren't paying attention to it.
Yeah.
But that vendor, that mortgage company that I send 100 and something leads to, they should be paying me $10,000 plus a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, there's just things that you can know by having Sisu, which is not expensive. If you think about, you could be bringing in $10,000 a month.
Yeah.
By making a simple decision,
Mm-hmm.
because you know your numbers.
Okay.
The few $100s a month that most people pay for Sisu seems like nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So basically, you're saying, hey, your productivity can increase by 30%, and your income will increase by 10,000 a month. Just if you start using some of these principles and using.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just by that's just by getting a vendor on board, right? I mean, as far as a team owner, I've seen teams double their production by actually putting these things into play.
Wow. Yeah. See, and that's the kind of stuff that all of us are interested. That's the type of things, that we want on that. And I think we have a pretty good, thorough understanding. Now, do you have, we have a few minutes left here, and is there anything else you'd like to share with us that you think will be helpful for us to understand why we should at least go for that 7-day trial and try Sisu on that, Brian?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Everybody has a CRM because CRMs have been around forever. And if you don't, you should go get one.
Right.
And it's going to become the same way with Sisu, right? What we do is really the next stage of that, where, okay, now how do you make decisions from that data? How do you manage your business? How do you become more efficient and not have duplicate data entry? Quit using spreadsheets where you're putting the same thing into 5 different spreadsheets. You put something into our database and it's there forever in any form you want. So you can build your custom forms just like you can with a Google Sheet.
Yeah.
You can automate your business. You can share things out to your vendors. So really, this is just about making you more efficient and automating your business and making you a better leader. And who doesn't want that?
Yeah, right. I love that. Automate your business, be a better leader. And again, I'm writing this down. All of you should too, because this is, from God's mouth to your ears, if you will. That, this is just good, wholesome things. And Brian, would you tell us a little about you personally, as far as just, I don't know, your belief system or the type of person you are or what you do? You mentioned meditation, and that kind of struck. And of course, I was on your show a couple of weeks ago, and so you know a little about me. And can you just share a little about who you are, because I want to have everybody understand just what a good, wholesome person you are, and how you really just have this big heart and want to be able to help others to really leverage their business like you're doing through technology.
Well, I'm just a big believer in that people can accomplish anything we want to, right? We can do anything. It's just a matter of focusing on it and doing the things where we're constantly growing in life. So, I mean, I personally believe that it's really important to have a morning routine. Part of my morning routine is going to the gym. After I go back to the gym, I do like to do a short meditation after I get out of the shower. And it just puts me, I actually plan my day the night before I go to bed, so that while I'm in bed, I can be processing that, right?
Subconscious mind is working,
yes.
making sure you got a smooth, productive, happy, big surprise day for you,
And then something I do, and sometimes this happens at the gym, but I actually look at my calendar and I visualize every single one of my meetings for that day and what the outcomes are that I want to see.
That's great. And
so anyway, I'm a huge believer in learning and growth, and I've been to all the Tony Robbins events that there are, and anything that I can do there, and also health is really the most important thing that we have. So everyone, if I could give any advice, it's take care of your health first.
Yes.
Because then you can do all these other great things with your life. But if you're not healthy, you're usually not happy.
Yeah.
And, if you get sick or have problems, then it takes all of the fun away. So anyway, that's really the first and most foremost thing that we have is our health, right? Yeah. And then the second thing is really our minds, right? And our hearts. So we want to keep those so they're all working together. And so it's just important that we focus on all of those and do everything we can to really be healthy all around.
Yeah, well, that's beautiful. And that's just some really good counsel for all of us to really be thinking about how, it's the mind, it's our bodies, the health part, and then our spirit and our heart in there. And so the three, mind, body, spirit, with there. And again, Brian, we thank you so much for being on the show today, that you were very helpful. I would ask everybody to check out Sisu. Again, it's sisu.co.
And so what I would recommend, Dr. Hank, is when they go to sisu.co, sisu.co, the thing to do is just sign up for a demo. Okay. Have our team show you the platform, take a look at it, and I think you'll be impressed with what you see.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you for your counsel, your wisdom on how really for all of us to be able to start managing our businesses, instead of most of agents out there that their business manages them. And this is an opportunity for you to have more balance in your life, be able to grow your business, to have more time. And you can do it with Brian, and he is amazing. He has a major company, like he's the CEO and he's got a board and everything. I mean, this is the real thing, folks. And that it is time for all of us to step up and use the numbers in order to have our business flow to every place we want it to. Any last words, Brian?
No, thanks for having me on your show. It's been fun.
Hey, thank you. You're just the best. We appreciate you. And to all of you that I wish you all the best, that health, wealth, and success. And know that just get a hold of either one of us. You know how to get a hold of Brian now, and then with me, that drhank at drhank.biz. But get in contact with us so that we can help you become your greatest possibility and build your business and build your wealth. With that, all of you, love you guys. Thanks so much. Thanks again. Appreciate you, Brian. Bye-bye.
Thank you.